Buenas a todos, Eurofans, bienvenidos a un nuevo vídeo en Eurorelinchu. Les saludo a Bambie Thug, me acompaña Irene Otero. Liro, ¿qué tal estás, Liro?
Muy bien, aquí estamos, cafecito, con gente súper chulísima y bueno, pues a tope.
Arrancamos nuestro ciclo de entrevistas a los participantes del Eurosong de Irlanda 2024 y empezamos fuertes con una de las candidatas a ganar, one of the big candidates to win the Eurosong Ireland 2024, Bambie Thug. Good evening, hello.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for having me and my little doggy.
There's Ned. How is it going? How are you feeling about this participation in this Eurosong this year?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's been a ride already in the last 2 days since it's been announced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super grateful to be able to participate and for my country to be able to see my art, because I've been building my career in the UK for a while and no one knew who I was here till the other day. So if anything, and if it stops at Eurosong, which I hope it doesn't, and it shouldn't really, but if it does, then I'm super grateful to have opened a platform for myself in my own country where I was raised. So that's really nice, and I feel really good. I'm a bit overwhelmed, but it's good.
I want to start with before all the Eurosong Eurovision stuff. Sorry,
Yeah.
About your past, how you started as a singer, as a performer, how you went your career. You told us you are starting UK.
Yeah, so I basically moved to the UK when I was 19. After I used to do ballet over here, I was in a kind of dance uni here, and then I went and studied musical theatre in a place called the Erdang Academy, which is in London. And after that, I decided I wanted to do music full time, and I homeschooled myself for 2 years in writing pop music and rewriting other people's songs to kind of figure out formulas. And then I started doing open mics in London. Then I started working with some producers. I was making a lot of dance music. I was making a lot of pop, like bubblegum poppy kind of stuff. And then I did like a jazz thing. I've written for a lot of artists. I released this song before I was Bambi called Ecstasy with the Sky Fabiche, who's a German producer, and that song was quite big in I think South America is where it's most big. It's weird. It's on like 60 million streams. I don't understand. But then I started doing Bambi and Bambie Thug, and I came out as queer and non-binary, and I changed my actual name to Bambi as well. And yeah, my project is 3 years old, and it's been doing really well. You know, every song has been played on BBC Radio in UK that I released, and I've played loads of festivals. I've done touring. I'm completely independent. I'm not signed or published. I write for people who are, but yeah, I've kind of just been grinding and hustling myself and kicking doors down for myself, and that's where I am now. I just kind of found this pocket for myself that I've called Ouija pop, which is basically any genre that I just decide to do, which is I'll then fuse with the occult, with witch terminology or magic terminology, or that kind of side of things really interests me. And I didn't really see any artists that were like me or what I wanted to do, so I just decided to do it myself. And then that brings us up to today, and I'm here.
Liro.
You just said that you are not seeing any artist that sounds like you, or that kind of that it's like you. So how do you describe your sound, or where do you want to go, like with your music? And
I guess my sound varies, because if you listen to my last EP, Cathexis, I guess there's a bit more pop in that. There's a big ballad, which I haven't done previously to this. There's some rock in there. There's some hyper punk. There is rap. There's screaming. I guess I just don't like to fit in a mold. And where I want to be is just given the pathway to be able to experiment and fuse things, and come up with, songs that necessarily haven't really been tried before. Like, I guess Doomsday Blues is kind of one of them, which I guess is kind of like pushing, genre defying or boundary pushing. And I mean, artistically, visually, Gaga's always been one of my big inspirations, but also movies like Pan's Labyrinth and things have been incredibly, and even animation and things, I'm very heavily influenced by. And I'm a theatre kid, so I love to dress up and I love to fuse everything. I mean, in the future, I really want to write a musical. I'm basically just very greedy and I want to do everything. So I don't have any constraints on myself. I don't think about aging. I don't think about any of that. It's like my art's going to speak for itself, and I'm just going to continue to explore and to change, because I think that you can never think you're at your best, and you should never feel safe in wherever you are, and always be pushing. And I like to metamorphosize. I like to shift, to shape shift, and yeah, just to continue doing that. And I mean, my ultimate goal at the end of my life would be to have at least one song out there that appeals to everyone, because I am a songwriter. I write all styles. Can't wait to do country in the future as well.
Like, I've completely vibed with you've just said. Like, as a Guillermo del Toro fan myself, like,
Yeah.
I even have a tattoo from him, like from The Shape of Water.
Nice.
So I was wondering, like, all of that artistry, especially like stuff that it's a bit obscure but also really sensitive and really visual. Do you think that we're about to see something like that on the scenario, like as a something that you built, something that is gonna be there, like something that might help the performance on your song?
In Eurosong?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like basically I have my creative team is this group of non-binary people who are actually just my best friends, who just happen to be incredibly talented in their fields. And we were designing the staging, and I did want to have like props and things, but the changeover on Eurosong is like 4 minutes between each act. So now we're kind of we're building a more digital version of it for the screens, and it'll be incorporated into the lighting and the costuming and the staging, the choreography of it. And then if we got to Malmo, then I would up the ante. I mean, like, I've already drawn up the stage plan for that, because I like to try and vision the whole way, even if it doesn't go the whole way. Even though I don't even like to say that it won't go the whole. I don't want to jinx it either way. But I do like to just pre-plan, and I like to visualize. And staging is so important to me. I put on my first London headline show in October in the Oslo and Hackney, and we decorated the entire venue. I built a coffin for a door. We had loads of flowers everywhere. We made stained glass windows. I had people being vampire types in the crowd. Like, it's very important to me for it to be an entire world and not just a song, even though the song is so important, because I think to get a sense of me in terms of the artist, one of me, when I'm performing, I also need the world. I also need to sit in the world, because I love acting too. So I need to be immersed myself, and I need to feel people immersed in it. So hopefully the staging will be pulled off. The studio is very small, so we'll see. But I think, like, obviously I think my stuff is better suited to a big stage, and I run around like crazy when I'm performing on festivals and things. But I actually think that it works just as well anywhere we are. And I think, excuse me, You do as
It's
well. You
okay.
think so too. Um, and yeah, I think we can pull it off. You know, like I have years in this this type of thing from growing up and studying it in uni and things, and I'll make the best of any space I'm given, as much as possible. So hopefully it'll pay off. I don't think RTE, I don't think Eurosong is ever going to have had anything like this. And you know, our the viewer, the demographic is a bit older, and I think Ireland doesn't hasn't really had like such open doors to this alt universe almost. So we'll see what the older people think about it. But when I was played on the radio the other day in Ireland, a lady texted in after the song was played, and she said, "I'm 70 years old, and this is my favorite song." So I have hope.
Mhm.
I have hope in them.
Yeah,
Uh,
because that's what. Of course, we've listened to all of the songs, and we were like, we kind of had the feeling that the songs that were pre-selected
mm,
were kind of all of them playing it safe,
yeah,
and yours this year was also like one of the ones that like stood up for us kind of, and that's why we were really curious, and that's why we also wanted to do the interview, because we were
yeah,
like, all right, this is different, this is new, this is something that we're really looking forward to see, and
yeah,
that's why we were also like, all right, how's about to be, because like the whole concept is different, so the whole scenario is about to be different, and the whole
yeah.
performance is about to be different. Um so I don't know, I think it's great that you have all of this vision, and that you can basically can put Ireland again like in the Eurovision map, because we were also like a bit like, all right, these years for Ireland, they've kind of be a bit, I don't know, playing it safe and maybe not doing it that well.
And not
Because
qualify for 10
exactly, yeah, that's
after the legacy that Ireland had. I know it was years ago that we were, it's like dominant, um, but it's been a long time, and I think it's time that we gain some respect back as a country of Ireland is such it has such deep roots in poetry and music, and I think we maybe lost our way for a bit. And yeah, this year I was just like, look, we're tied with Sweden. I was like, I'm going to enter. I'm half Swedish. Maybe that's when I should enter. And yeah, I'd love to represent Ireland. I'd love it. I'm so proud of this country, and I want it to do well. I want it to do well. You see?
Maybe that message of that 70 year old lady was an example of what we see outside right now. As we talking, you are for someone the second, for someone the third favorite for Win Eurosong 2024. Two questions in a one. How was the reaction when the song was published, and all the feedback you received from Irish fans and from outsider fans? A second one, I'm curious about, with all your atmosphere and for all your background you have of don't be in a mold. How was your reaction with RTE called you to participate in the Eurosong?
Yeah, so the feedback has been really good. I have gotten one or two hate messages, but like that's fine. It's because I'm a goth, and they're like, "You're Satan," and I'm like, "I'm not Satan." Mm-mm. But apart from that, the feedback has been really good. And when they called me, yeah, I was delighted actually when they called me. It feels like a homecoming to me. Even I say homecoming as if like I'm coming back to them, but they didn't even know who I was.
Mhm.
um, but there's something special about um, being recognized by my own soil, and it doesn't take away from the accolades that I've gotten in the UK, because I have worked really hard and I do get really well received there. But there is a different feeling of being um, welcomed by your own country, um,
Mhm.
which I think is so gorgeous. And RTE were so nice. They're so nice. They're still being so nice. They love the song as well. And even for me, like, I had a bit of imposter syndrome today, where um, I read a newspaper thing that said, "Oh, maybe Doomsday is too avant-garde for the Eurovision," and I was like, "What do you mean too avant-garde?" I was like, "What do you mean too avant-garde?" But and then I had some imposter syndrome, so I was like, "Oh, you should have just sent your ballad from the EP," and then I was like, "No," because like the ballad's great, but like it's not pushing the boundaries that I want to do, or it's not. This song shows so many different facets of me in one thing. It's like kind of, I guess it's just me being like, look at all of these multiple personalities of myself in one
Mhm.
song. Okay, it's finished. Bye. Um, so yeah, it's been. I'm surprised at how well it's been received, actually, but I'm delighted. I'm delighted.
And what do you think about your team, about your teammates in the Eurosong? What are your favorite songs from the Irish selection?
My favorite songs of the other ones.
Yes.
Mine.
Okay, it's fair. It's fair to say.
Um, mm, um, hmm. I mean, I like some of the instrumentation in Ailsha's song.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's in similar kind of alt world in parts. Um, and I don't mind the boy band song.
It's in
Uh,
line.
Next in line. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I wish everybody the best, but I wish me the most best.
That's eso. Lilo.
Um, no sé qué más decir. Yeah, no sé qué más decir. ¿Qué más
Okay,
decir?
okay. I'll rescue Lilo. Don't worry. Talking about Eurovision Song Contest. You follow the contest. What are your favorite songs from Ireland and from other countries from the Eurovision Song Contest?
Oh, my favorite moments. Well, I I'm a bit biased about last year because my friend Luke Black represented Serbia, and
Mhm.
my producers also produced that song, and I just thought it was so cool. I love that. I love that song.
Mhm.
I obviously love Cha Cha Cha. Um, and obviously I love Loreen, but I would argue I prefer Euphoria to Tattoo. Um, and another person that I loved from the other years would be Conchita Wurst.
Mhm.
Um, I loved Conchita Wurst. Um, I loved their style. I loved the message of the song. In terms of uh, Ireland's songs that I like from the years, I mean, the one that actually stands out most in my head is actually like one of the oldest ones, which is the All Kinds of Everything. I think it's just really sweet. By Dana.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been more of a fan of other countries, to be honest, for a long time in the
Yeah.
Eurovision. Um,
It's
I
okay. We're from Spain. We have the same thing.
We have the same. We have Ireland and Spain have the almost the same packages about a big decade for one of the countries. In our case, was the 60s. In Ireland was the 90s, and
mm,
then a huge drop, if I can say that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. Oh my God, no, I love as well. Is it Iceland? Was the Tell me
Hatari.
what you think about?
Yeah, Daddy Freyr. Yeah,
Yeah, them I
yeah.
love, and also I think I also that song has come back into me liking it because my sister had a baby, and she's two going on about 10. She is so smart, I don't understand. I'm like, what is happening? She speaks whole sentences. She's crazy,
Uh-huh.
and she loves that song.
Nice.
Like, play. And we were like, okay, that's what? Loves it. She loves it. But I always prefer the things that are a bit more alt, but also I do love a big dance song. Like if I was to get to the final and say, imagine if I won, whatever. But if I did that, then I think if I got to come back again, I would go more dancey next time. I don't know, like I'd love to do loads and just have a new genre every year and be like, what are they gonna do next?
That will be interesting. Lilo, ¿tienes una pregunta más? ¿Podemos,
La verdad es que no.
okay. From the last question, two last questions. The first one, besides Solita that happens in late January in Eurosong 2024 or even Eurovision, what are your plans as a singer, as a composer, as a performer for this 2024? What are your future plans?
So I want to make another music video for one of my songs from the EP and kind of push that a little bit longer. I also I'm going to be doing some festivals, and I want to start working on another project. Um, I have some singles to put out anyway. I have so much music that I've made that needs to be released that it actually is a crime that it's just in my like folder. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh my god, that one's great. Oh no, that needs to be the next one. No, that one needs to be the next one. So it's navigating what to put out with the wanting to create new things from what I have, from what's happened in life and I need to write about. And just creating. I mean, I want to do a lot more dancing this year. I want to. I just want to create. I'm just going to be doing lots of creating. I'm going to be doing lots more collaboration again and writing for me and writing for some more people and just continuing to be so annoying to everyone and trying to bang down all the doors. And you know what? Through this, maybe getting a bit more of a following, which means I could maybe do some more shows in other places. I've played quite a few shows in Switzerland. They liked me there, and I played Transmusicals in France there in December, which was huge. I didn't realize it was that big a thing. I'd love to go back and play more shows across the continent, and yeah, and make more merch. And make
Oh,
costumes.
nice.
Do you design your
Uh,
own merch?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I do.
How many songs you have in your folder?
In my folder,
Yeah.
I'd say about 150, but then I also have about another two folders of more songs that are either semi done or um, just need bits adding. I don't know. It's actually very overwhelming because it's all I can do. Like I use songwriting as a form of my own therapy. I use it as a form of understanding situations. I use it as a form of just getting my thoughts out or my dreams out, like my actual dreams
Yeah.
from nighttime.
That's I want to ask you how you get inspiration to write and to create a lot and from a lot of genres.
Because growing up, we had quite an eclectic range of music playing in my house the whole time. My father was older. My father is in his 70s now, and so when he lived with us when we were kids, he would play a lot of like very very old school rock and roll, like Wham Sham and the Pharaohs, like Wooly Bully. They're like old.
Mhm.
And he loved Fleetwood Mac, and he loved Paul Simon, but then my mom loved Barbara Streisand, and she loved Sum 41, and then she loved Led Zeppelin, and I loved the Spice Girls, and I was a massive Britney fan, and Fleetwood Mac, and Dolly Parton, and Tracy Chapman, Joni Mitchell, like just so many, Black Sabbath, so many things, like just so much, and musicals. So I I think in my brain, there's probably like 8 different people living in there, and I guess one of them just wants to take the spotlight every now and again. It's like, you know what, let's make a jazz song. You know what, let's make a country song. I don't, you know what, it's been my journal, and my songwriting has been my best friend and my therapist for my entire life. So it really is the best way that I know how to communicate, because I'm not incredibly good at or haven't been. I'm learning at portraying my feelings or standing up for myself or talking, getting things across. And I'm completely. I think that my mouth and my hand have two different people in them, and my hand that writes knows me more than my mouth. So writing is just it's completely part of me. I can't escape it. I can't not write. Um, I I'll at least write. There, my first few years, I was writing a song a day for the first like three years, and now I write every day, but it might be like a verse, or sometimes it's a whole song. But I'll be writing every single day. Like I just can't stop, and it's a muscle too. You know, you have to continue to use it. Even when you're going through like a writer's block, I find that I write more little just lines of poetry or something, but I'll make sure that I'm still nurturing it, because I was also dyslexic. I am dyslexic. And I was always told that I wasn't good at reading, or I wasn't good at writing, and I wasn't good at English, but I was always amazing at those in school. So it was a very back and forth battle with myself, where even when I was songwriting, I would second guess what I'd written if it made sense, and then I would read it or get someone else to read it, and they were like, that makes so much sense. So it's I have to keep it up for myself, but now I trust in myself, which has changed. And now I'm like, dyslexia, who? I know I have it because it's when I read, things start to move around on the page, but it has nothing to do with my ability to write, which I'm learning to let go of. Just learning to be nice to myself.
And express yourself with all the universes that you have in your designs.
Yeah, exactly.
Bambie, thanks a lot. We wish you really good luck in Eurosong 2024 and out there in Ireland. Thank you so much for really this beautiful interview, and thank you so much at all. Good luck in late January.
Thank you so much for having me.
Gracias Irene Otero Lino por acompañarme. He sido Mar Betancourt. Si quieren ver más vídeos como este, suscríbanse al canal de YouTube, síganos en redes sociales, somos Eurorelinchu en Twitter, Instagram y en Threads, y acuérdense de que estamos todos los martes en directo a las 9 de la noche. Nos vemos, chao.
Bad be iru loud.